What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and today I want to bring you guys an update on my prison pen pals, both Doug and Google. For those of you who don't know, both of my prison pen pals are serving life sentences. Doug is serving 1,800 years. Pretty crazy to think about that. And Google is serving 215 years. We've done a couple of videos featuring these guys and some of the stories that they've shared with us, what life is like for them on the inside. And today I'm going to be sharing with you some crazy stories that both of these individuals share with us. I've actually got quite a few emails from both of these guys, and we're going to kind of just run through these emails, and we're really just going to key in on the important things that both of these guys are sharing with us. Also, something else real quick, I want to give a very special shout out to everyone who purchased Doug's artwork from us. We sold damn near all of the artwork that this guy sent to us. So we were able to send this guy a decent amount of money that is guaranteed to be helping him while he's serving his time. Before we get into this video, however, I do want to take a moment and address the sponsor of this video, an awesome mobile game called Vikings War of Clans. And first of all, a very special shout out to Vikings War of Clan for sponsoring this video. The development team of this game asked me to try this out, and why not? It's free. And after about 5 minutes of playing this game, I was hooked. Vikings was inspired by some of the famous old school strategy and RPG games we grew up with in the 90s and early 2000s, like Diablo and Final Fantasy. You'll train your Vikings, build up your army and village, fight against other players. And the scale to this game is insane. There's over 3 million players in a single event. That's like whole countries fighting against each other. It's pretty crazy. And you really get to choose your own style of play with this game. Want to use diplomacy and teamwork? Do it. Want to dominate and destroy cities or build a badass fortress? That works too. There's a lot of ways to win in Vikings War of Clans, so do it your way. Personally, I like to go on the offense, but that's just me. Another thing that I really love about this game is that it's not a real-time shooter where you blink and bang, and you're dead for the rest of the match. I can play for 5 minutes or 5 hours and pick it up whenever I feel like it. So I'm asking all of you to show support for After Prison Show by going down below in the description box using the exclusive After Prison Show link to download Vikings War of Clans for free. And when you do so, you're going to be hooked up immediately with 200 gold and a protective shield that is definitely going to be useful from the start. And don't forget to look me up under the username JoeGuerrero and join my clan. So again, a very special shout out to Vikings War of Clans for sponsoring this video. Now folks, let's go ahead and get into these emails from both Doug and Google. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I've got quite a few emails from Doug. I've only got one from Google that I want to share with you guys. And there was a lot of really interesting stuff that both of these guys share with us that you're going to be finding out in this video. Definitely some very crazy stories both of these guys share with us. And with Doug in particular, I've asked this guy some really interesting questions, and it's in these emails that I'm getting ready to share with you where he basically gives us his answer to those questions. This first email from Doug we received on June the 4th, and it says, "Hey man, what's good? Not a lot here, just hanging out. I have no problem answering the questions." He also addresses something that we mentioned in the last update featuring Doug, where he was basically sending a message to the trolls and the naysayers. And he says that, "I do understand people are going to say messed up things. I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards anyone at all, but when it comes to my family and friends, I will go to the ends of the world for them at any cost to myself." Does that make sense to you? I hope so. I am not a messed up person. Yes, I have done a lot of messed up things in my life, but I will honestly die for the people I love and care about. I have a huge problem with that because I have never loved myself at all in my life, and I put everything into others I hold close to me, even when I probably should not. I am loyal to a fault is a good way to put it. I'm sure a lot of people can actually relate to that. Anyways, I will try to answer your questions now. I have no problem telling you my story that got me into prison. I will answer anything you ask me, dude. You know, that was actually one of the questions that I asked Doug, and that was if he would be willing to share with us, you know, what happened that would ultimately lead up to this crazy amount of time that he has. I have never thought about writing a book here, but honestly, I am not good at stretching things out in order to do so. I am short and sweet, and then I have issues inside that I shut down because I don't think I have value, and people would be better off not knowing my life because I don't want pity from people, and I don't want people to be a part of my life. I am messed up in the head and inside, and my life was far from fair. It was messed up. It's not funny at all. I just hope you can understand that. And I'm honestly not sure if in this email he is going to be sharing with us, what led up to him going to prison. And if we don't learn about that here, I will do my damnedest to be able to bring you that story very soon. But he's most certainly getting ready to answer another question that I asked him, so I'm pretty sure we're not going to hear about that story just yet. But this other question that I asked him was about the worst fight that he's seen since serving this time. The worst fight I have seen in prison was at Keene Mountain, a level 4 or 5. I watched two black dudes get to fighting at the poker table over money they lost and would not pay. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was ever at a maximum security prison, gambling would probably be one of the last things that I would be doing, because when dudes don't want to pay that debt and they owe, I'm pretty sure that's only gonna lead to bad things. I guess one of the guys was a Muslim guy. He said, the Muslim dude said F it and sat back all day long, broke a piece of plexiglass out of a window, made a knife, then walked over to the table while dude was playing cards and went off stabbing him 12 times in the face, back, chest, and stomach. It's actually pretty hard to stomach. No pun intended. He had fat squeezing out of the wounds and it was really bloody. He lost his eye and one lung and he was super scarred up. Well, I'm guessing the guy lived, but definitely probably, damn. The next worst one was I watched a dude boil hair grease in the microwave and walk up and throw it in a dude's face, and it looked like his face was literally sliding off of his skull. That was kind of crazy and messed up, but kind of cool at the same time. I also asked Doug another question. We're going to go and switch gears right here because that was pretty brutal. But I also asked Doug this question, something along the lines of, if you could have a message for any young people who might hear what we share of your story, if you had a message for any young people who might be going down a troubling path, what would that message be? And I think that this is going to be pretty interesting right here. I will answer what to say to a person going down the wrong path in my next email. Okay, let's go ahead and go to that next email. This came on the same day, June the 4th. He says, hey man, I wanted to send you this also. I would tell a person that was starting down the wrong path a few things. This is what I would say. I know times get hard for people, especially teenagers and young adults, but you are worth it. Even when times are hard and you don't think that another day is worth going through, there are people who care and give a F about you. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. This is pretty insightful and interesting considering the person who's sharing this with us. Today's age and time, technology stops us from thinking we can reach out. Texting someone or calling them is not taking it serious anymore. Go up and tell someone face to face that you're hurting or need help and advice. There are a lot of people that want to help you or will be willing to help you, but not that. I think what he's trying to say right here is, but they may be too busy in their own lives to see the signs that you are falling apart inside and out. Use me as an example to your everyday lives out there. I've shut down, numbed myself because I felt so alone, and I still do. I felt that I was not worth shit or anyone's time. I never reached out. I never asked for help. I struggle every day and still do that. But my downfalls led me here. Me feeling like I had nothing and no one led me to this point in my life. Now I wish I could go back. I wish I could have a second chance in my life, but I cannot. No matter what I do, I am stuck here with nothing but time to think about what I should have done different. That's really crazy. There are people who care and want to help you in life. It is scary to ask for help, even though we don't see it as being scared. It is what it is. Drugs help you for the moment, but they are far from the fix. They only cause more damage in life, and emotionally they add so much more shit to the real issues because you're numb every day and it will only add up and then explode into devastating consequences without you even realizing it. Everything will come to a head in life. Try to find people not even religious people, honestly. My advice would be to leave religion out of it completely so that added pressure of being judged is not there. But find people to surround yourself with that are good people to talk to, people you can talk to in the flesh, not through electronics and things like that. Try to find things that make you feel better about yourself, even if they are the stupidest, smallest things in the world. Give yourself credit for doing things positive, no matter how big or small they are. Help a person, not only with money, but with saying things that are positive. Even to people you don't know or care about. Feeling a little better about yourself will make you feel better about yourself. That's actually very real. Sometimes all it takes is the smallest, slightest thing. It's those baby steps that could lead to getting you out of that rut or getting you off of that troubled path. Most of the time, we who are damaged inside hurt others because we don't want to feel alone or we don't like who we are. We want others to hurt and feel what we feel inside, and that is why we lash out at others. And please, don't ever hurt yourself. Take it from me. I struggle every day with cutting, and I am ashamed of it completely. When someone says they love me or care, it makes me feel like I am still worth something in life. People have stated to me, I am worth it in life, and I am needed here. Even though I can't and don't see it, I am starting to feel like maybe they do need me. I do give them a chance in life. No matter what, you are worth it. No matter how low you feel about yourself, don't give up. You can be whatever you put your all into. You only hold yourself back in life, nobody else. So don't try to use that excuse. Live free, but smart. Much respect, Doug. I think there was some pretty powerful stuff in that message that he just shared with us right there. I mean, that's my personal opinion. Take it from a guy who will never see the free world again. You know, when you're going through some things or going down a troubling path, always keep in mind, as cliche as it may seem, somebody's definitely got it a lot worse than you. Doug is a perfect example of that. He's put himself in that situation. This is not to try to offer pity or sympathy. It's the truth. This next email, there's two more that I want to share with you from Doug. Then we're going to move on to Google's email, the one email we received from him. And trust me, Google shares with us some very, very crazy stuff about a canine getting beat up in prison. But this email we received from Doug came to us on June the 7th. He says, hey man, damn, I got the receipt for that money you sent me. Damn dude, that's a lot of money. This is in relation to that artwork that we sold for Doug and sent him the proceeds from that. I'm quite sure he was really excited and grateful to receive that money and see what we were able to do with his artwork. So if you purchased artwork from Doug, again, a very special shout out to you. Thank you a lot for that. You know, you didn't have to do that, right? I really do appreciate it a lot. You have no earthly clue how much that helps me out. I am not used to having money at all, so you really keep me lost for words at all times, man. Thank you so much for giving an F about me. You don't even know what is going through my head when I get this love from people. I get overwhelmed in a good way, honestly. People have never shown me love like this, dude. And it's not about the money, and it's just about people letting me know that I am worth something in life, and people think that I am more than the labels that society has placed on me so long ago. It is crazy. So, you know, it's a good thing being able to help this guy out. I know there's some people who don't feel like we should be doing anything at all. They feel like, you know, we're giving this guy recognition and he doesn't deserve that at all. And, you know, all I can say in response to that is the dude's doing the time. He's never coming home. You know, it's very insightful hearing the things that he shares with us, the stories, mind state that he has. And that's ultimately why we're doing what we're doing. It's been interesting getting to know this guy, and it's been a good thing to be able to help him, and that's what we've done. That's not the entirety of the email that he sent to us with that. A lot of it is just, I want to say, more of the same. So I'm going to just go ahead and move on to the final email real quick because I don't want this to be too long. And this is pretty damn crazy to hear from Doug. I received this on June the 12th, and I got no idea what led up to all of this, but this is what it is. He says, hey man, what's good? Nothing here. I am no longer engaged to anyone. Not going to put any kind of my opinion on that situation. It is what it is. I got no idea what happened. That's between him and his fiance. I can't imagine things could be easy for those two at all. This is what he basically opens up this email with. Things have not worked out with me and my fiance. I just wanted to let you know that. I hope life is good there, man. I am working on some more pics for you. Thank you a lot for that money again, dude. Damn, I really mean it. I never in my life thought someone would want to help me so much or be willing to. Thank you so much. I have gotten a few good pen pals. I try to write them as much as I can. He's still waiting on his JP4 player, he says, and he goes into that kind of crazy. The good thing is it's here and he's waiting for it to be delivered. I will be a better friend to everyone once I get that, because he's going to be able to type those emails right there on that JP4 player, plug it into the kiosk, and then be able to send that without having to use the 15 minutes, maybe once or twice a day that he gets on that public machine to do the emails on, to be sitting there trying to email however many people are writing to him. It definitely seems like he's trying to write back to anyone who's taking an interest in wanting to write to him. I am so blessed in life to have you and your viewers. They also have helped me here and there. It is nice to have people to talk to, especially when things are not good in my life at all. I hope you and your queen are doing good, and I pray for nothing but good for the two of you. Maybe one day I can be happy like that. I just wanted you to know that I am really thankful for you for all that you do for me. Thank you a lot. Much respect, Doug. Some very interesting things that Doug shared with us in these emails, and I just wanted to share those things with you guys, and thank you for allowing me to do so. I want to go ahead and move on to this final email. This is from Google, and this is something that a lot of people have been waiting for. I mentioned it on Kicking the Bobo on Twitch, our morning show. There's a story that Google shared with me about a fight that he saw, one of the craziest fights that he ever saw in prison, involving a canine, an actual animal, getting beat up. And I want to share that with you guys right now. Hey, Joe. Well, I guess I can start this off by telling you the whole story about that canine that got beat up. It started at 6 in the morning back in the hole. I don't know why he was in isolation. The guy that was in the cell next to me had his light and window covered up. The CO was doing his rounds and told him to uncover his light. The dude told him since they bucked on his breakfast tray, he was going to keep his cell as dark as he could. After a bunch of arguing, they called the dog man up. The dog man sounds like the guard that's responsible for the canine, and told him that if he did not do as they told him, they would take it as an act of aggression and send the dog in the cell. He told them to F off, and if they sent the dog in there, he would F him up too. And you know, Google actually uses F's instead of the curse word. That's kind of crazy. After a few minutes, they opened up his cell and let the dog in. And all you heard was barking, growling, and yelling. And after a few minutes, all you heard was bang! The dog yelped. Bang! The dog yelped. Bang, bang! Then the dog was tossed out of the cell where he took a few steps and fell over. The dog latched onto the dude's arm, so he slammed the dog's head into the toilet a few times until he let go. The best part of the whole story was that they went and got the man a tray. Wow. This entire altercation took back in solitary confinement involving the guy that was housed right in the cell next to Google. They didn't give him a breakfast tray, so his response to that was to cover up the window in his cell, cover the lights up so they can't see him while they're doing rounds, something that they need to be able to see you. Told him to uncover it. He said, nope, you ain't give me no breakfast tray. I don't care what you do. They threatened him with the dog. He said, send the dog in there. They sent the dog in there. Dog bit him, latched on, and he seemed to be doing everything he could to get that dog off of him. And then I guess Google was sitting there at the window, the little slit plexiglass window right there in his cell, to be able to see this dog stumbling out of the cell and fall over. I am an animal lover. I love animals. I know that this is pretty bad to be hearing. It's kind of funny. Kind of. Maybe not really. Maybe I'm kind of sick for even thinking so. But I think Google will go on to tell us about the well-being of the dog. And it's also crazy to think that they brought this man that tray after this incident. The best part of this whole story was that they went and got the man a tray and they never messed with him again. And to answer another one of your questions, yes, I have seen a lot of dudes that don't defend themselves. You know, I think in one of the last updates on Google that I shared with you guys, I tell you, this guy is like a little bit taller than me, skinnier, kind of goofy looking, definitely was not no fighting type of a dude, but when he got to prison, he most certainly had to defend himself. There were gangs that came up to him, tried to extort him, fought those dudes, ended up fighting another one of those guys, said that he didn't have no problems after that. And I would ask him in response to what he shared with us about that. I'm sure you have seen guys who don't defend themselves, and share with me a little bit about what happens when they don't. 6 or 7 years ago, they just got beat up and got their stuff took and continue to pay to keep it. But the type of people that are here now are so soft that if you just tell them to F off, they pretty much move on to an easier target. There are still the ones that will take things from the weak, but now prison is starting to get filled with snitch gangsters. We've definitely talked quite a bit about those type of prisoners here on After Prison Show. Kind of like the jail we were at, Google says. When I first started talking about Google's story, there were 6 prisoners in the cell block with us that tried to testify against him at court. Snitch gangsters. Work is all right. Yeah, it's a lot of hours, but it keeps me busy and my mind occupied. I did put in for a conditional pardon about 8 months ago, and I'm still waiting on a response for that. I have all sorts of case law that proves that what Suffolk did to me was wrong. Plus, I have not had an institutional violence charge in the 10 years since I have been locked up. So I'm hoping that the governor will grant it and lessen my sentence to an amount of time that will allow me to still have a life outside of prison. My kiosk time is almost out, so I will let you go and wish you well. It is nice to have someone other than family to talk to, and pen pals are hard to come by nowadays. Take care, Google. There's quite a few people who are writing to Doug, and if anyone is interested in being a pen pal of Google, please send me an email. I know some people have already, but I would like to see Google get some pen pals as well. Pen pals were actually one of my prison hustles while locked up toward the end of my incarceration. We talked about that here before in the past, and it's kind of ironic to still kind of be able to do that in some way 3.5 years since I've been released from prison. So again, if anybody's interested in writing to him, please send me an email and I'll provide you with his information. Hey, look, that's it. I wanted to bring you guys this update on both of my prison pen pals who are both never coming home from prison. And I really hope that in some way you guys enjoyed this video, found it insightful or interesting. And if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace!